Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Some of you might recognize me from my other videos in this channel, and for those who do, kudos to you guys for your support. However, for those who don't, welcome to the channel. I really hope you guys like what we do in this channel, and hopefully the content in this channel can be useful for all of you. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about a very interesting subject that if you understand how to put it into good use, it can be a very effective and versatile tool in a lot of things that you do. So, without further ado, the topic that I'll be talking about right now is the psychology of language. Right, so some of you might have already guessed that the topic today is psycholinguistics. But what precisely is psycholinguistics? And perhaps the million-pound question is how to put this psycholinguistic thing into good use. So, stay tuned and buckle up because things will get a lot more interesting. Before I carry on with the topic, however, please do us a favor and hit that subscribe button down below for those of you who's new to this channel, and turn on the notification button. That way you won't miss our future content and releases that might be even more interesting and useful to you. So, psycholinguistics. If you're watching this video, I'd assume that you must have not been completely new to linguistics and language, and you should have been able to guess that psycholinguistics deals with psychology and linguistics, hence its name. And now you ask, what does psychology has to do with language or linguistics? Or perhaps instead of asking that question, you now realize some things about the correlation that you previously don't pay attention to. But in any case, that's fine. And let me stress this first and foremost that psychology plays a huge part behind language processes. Perhaps, more prominently, psycholinguistics deals with the psychological processes in which humans acquire and use language. What I mean by this is that behind our everyday language, behind the language in the media, in advertisement, in anything really, there is some aspect of psychology that is involved. Okay? So, to give you a better idea of how all of this works, let's take a look at how humans communicate. And of course, humans communicate by speaking and listening, right? Just like how I am talking to you right now. These activities does not just happen. Behind all this, there are mental processes that is happening in the background. And in psycholinguistics, we recognize what's called comprehension, production, and acquisition. Comprehension is the mental process in psycholinguistics that deals mainly with the process of listening and what's called the deep structure of a sentence. So imagine when I'm talking to you right now and you're listening to me in this video, deep inside there is actually a mental process happening that enables you to grasp what I'm talking about. On the other hand of the spectrum, we recognize what's called production. Now, production is the mental process that deals with how people come up with what they are going to say. And this process is closely related to competence, performance, and the surface structure of a sentence. Well, in this context, competence simply means to what extent is one's ability to use language. Performance, well, as the name suggests, it deals with the actual activity of speaking itself, and the surface structure deals with how a sentence is supposed to be spoken. Yet another mental process that is generally talked about in psycholinguistics is acquisition. And basically, this process deals with how a children comprehend and produce their first languages. So now, the most interesting part of this video. How to put psycholinguistics into good use. Well, to be very compact and straightforward about this, whenever you read an article, an advertisement, or even listen to, say, a YouTube video of a product review, for example, you are basically witnessing and engaging in psycholinguistics. So imagine When you are listening or when you're reading those form of communication in the media or on YouTube, for example, you are basically trying to comprehend what their creators or what the writers are trying to inform you about. For example, in a product advertisement, basically you are trying to comprehend what the writers are trying to tell you about the product. And like another example will be, in the present times, we know what's called digital marketing. And in digital marketing, we know what's called copywriting. So in copywriting, whether you realize it or not, the writers actually manipulating your psychology into believing what they are trying to say. The same happens when you are listening to a YouTube video about a product review that I mentioned earlier. What the creators are trying to achieve is to influence you into thinking that a particular product is whether good or bad or worth it or whatever. So, psycholinguistics, as you can see, is a very broad and indeed is a very useful and interesting subject for anyone really. Not only for us linguists, but anybody can actually benefit this from learning the subject. Well, to give you another example, say if you are a social media strategist, for example, you will be working really closely with copywriting, digital marketing, and all of those things require the understanding of psycholinguistics. So, as you can well see and imagine in the present time, psycholinguistics is a very, very useful subject. And that marks the end of my discussion for today, and indeed the end of this video. So, thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope that it can be useful for everyone watching. Don't forget as well to like and share this video because that really helps tell YouTube that we are doing a good job and tell them to promote our video more. And finally, I'm Nicholas Fernando from Semester 7A under the supervision of Dr. Esron Ambarita. We'll see you again. Take care.